Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The video I'm going to share with you today is actually a video from my online course, Songwriting Accelerator. It's a video that explores the topic of songwriting for social movements. This is a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. I actually got a sociology degree when I was in college, and my main focus was songwriting and social movements. So we studied a lot of the different social movements over the last century or so of American history, how music was used in those. And as a musician and as someone who also has always wanted to be a part of healing the culture, healing the society, this was a very, very deep topic of interest for me. But in reality, I didn't actually begin to really understand the why behind how music affects social movements until I started studying sound healing. And when I learned the laws of resonance and I began to understand how resonant fields work, I began to actually understand the mechanism, like the actual mechanism for how music is used in group settings like social movements or churches to actually energize the ethos, to propel the movement forward. So I talk about all of that in this video, and I also give you some of my best tips for writing songs that actually have the power to do this, that actually have the power to uplift and move the energy in a social movement type setting. And obviously right now we're living in a time where there's a lot of social unrest. And I'm not here to say what is right and what is wrong related to all of that. I just want to let you know that if you are a musician or a songwriter and you are really feeling the call to write and make art that actually can be a part of the solution that can help heal our culture, then this video is for you. This video is going to give you so much valuable information about how to do it in a way that really works. And this is based on my degree that I got. It's based on my study of sound healing, and it's also based on my more than 25 years of songwriting experience and just experiencing this process myself. So this is just a small sample of the Songwriting Accelerator online course. It's a part of my songwriting mastermind where I give you the exact process that I use to crank out songs really, really quickly. Once you learn this process, songwriting becomes so much more fun, so much simpler, honestly, and it streamlines the process and helps you not get stuck in writer's block, which is so frustrating and can really kill the creative mood. So if you want to overcome writer's block and you want to write better songs faster while having more fun, then the Songwriting Accelerator online course is exactly the course for you. To all my songwriters out there, I love you, keep creating, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this one we are going to talk about music and resonance in social movements. And this is not something you're going to find anywhere else. This is the synthesis of so much different learning and education that I've done on my own in college and also in my sound healing training. Understanding the laws of resonance, which is not something we're going to go into in this course, but it is a part of my Hum and Bing boot camp where I teach, the basics of sound healing at home, essentially. But you're not going to find this anywhere else. And honestly, I didn't even realize, even though I had studied music and social movements and, me and the other sociologists were like, yeah, music's so powerful in social movements. And we had this vague idea of why, but we didn't actually understand why. And it was still this mystery where we're like, well, it works, but we don't know really how it works. And I didn't fully understand how and why it works until I studied sound healing and I learned the laws of resonance. And then I understood. So this is really important though, because even if you're not interested in the whole like music for social movements, conscious songwriting thing, you still probably want to write music that resonates. And this is still going to apply to you. You know, it's like it still applies to you if you're a pop artist who is doing a concert and you've got hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of people in the audience. This mechanism is part of what's happening that's creating the energy in the room or the energy in the stadium. Maybe that will be your experience one day. So, this is a huge, huge thing, especially for performing artists specifically. And let's just get into it. So, the fifth law of resonance essentially says that, let me back up. Resonance is when two frequencies match each other. Two frequencies match. Like they're on the same wavelength, they're matching. And when two matching frequencies come together, they create a resonant field. And a resonant field is an expansion of energy. You can think of it like an extra bubble of energy that expands. And that expansion of energy, that resonant field, is a stronger energy, a stronger vibration than either of those two frequencies could have been on their own. So, two frequencies come together, and while they might be powerful on their own, when they come together, they expand to create a larger energy than either of those frequencies could have been on their own. And what we know about the human body and the human energy system is that we actually do produce electromagnetic fields around our body. The human aura is not woo-woo. It is actually a real thing. There are real, measurable electromagnetic frequencies that expand out from the heart specifically. But even other body parts like the chakras, which are essentially your endocrine glands, those have, like, every part of your body has a little bit of an energy field to it. It's not just like we're one-dimensional, only physical objects. There is an invisible world happening around us. There's an invisible field of energy that we produce with our, essentially with the emotions that we're carrying, with the thoughts and the intention, with our level of consciousness, if you want to speak in those terms. It's like when you walk into a room and you can feel the energy of the room. Maybe it's a stressful energy. Or you can walk into the room and feel something different. Or somebody comes near you and you get an off feeling, or you get a really expansive feeling. Like a lot of people talk about when they're around really advanced spiritual teachers. Those teachers produce a huge energy field that is like so peaceful, so loving. It's something that you can feel. And this is something that scientists can actually measure, and they have measured. We go into this more in the Human Being Bootcamp, but there's the Heart Math Institute that's done tons of research on this and how the electromagnetic fields from the heart actually interact invisibly with the other electromagnetic fields from other people's hearts and how those energies actually come together. Okay? And this is why groups of people who gather together to sing and to really create and embody the same type of emotional energy together, this is part of the reason why that energy can be so palpable and so powerful. And this is one of the reasons why singing together in groups is so powerful. And this is why music has been such a powerful force in social movements, in the civil rights movement, for example. We shall overcome. Like, I'm getting goosebumps even just speaking those words. And now imagine a room of people who are truly fighting for their freedom, their human dignity, coming together and singing those words with all of their heart and with all of the love that it takes to stand up to oppression. Like, that is the stuff that creates an energy field bigger than any one person can achieve on their own. And that has the power to move things, to move the opponent emotionally, to move each other into solidarity and courage. And there's so many different things to be said about that. But just look at this example. I forgot to bring my slide up, but just look at this example of, this illustrated out right here. We've got all these individuals and they've got their own energy field and they're all singing. And their energy fields are overlapping with each other. And it's creating this bigger, more powerful energy field. And this is what's happening at concerts. This is what's happening in churches. This is what's happening at civil rights rallies and social movement rallies. This is what's happening when you're just in the car singing with your friends. This is what's happening when you're singing mantra or, just in some kind of song circle, even in a drum circle with other people. And, the national anthem, for example, that's a super cheesy example, but everybody singing the national anthem together, if they actually believe in it and they feel a thing. This technique has been co-opted by governments to get buy-in from people. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like, whether you're someone who has the best intention for humanity and you really just want everyone to get along and live in peace, and you want your music to serve the highest good of everybody, or whether you don't have good intentions and you want to basically manipulate and brainwash people, you can use this either way. And that's one of the reasons why I feel it's so important to actually have some values around the responsibility of what it means to be a songwriter, because we're going to get into this on the next slide, but it can be used for good reasons or nefarious reasons. But just realize this, like when you're in a concert and you feel the energy of the room, this is the invisible energy of that room. It's how people are coming together and how our energy fields are invisibly interacting with each other when we're all coming together with a shared, matching, emotional, and intentional resonance. And this is one of the ways and one of the reasons why music and concerts and group singings and song circles, why it can be so powerful. Even if you're on a Zoom call and you're singing a song with people all over the world, it still feels like this is at play even in those situations. So this is why music is so powerful in social movements. And we did not know that at the time. At the time of me studying, I'm not even sure that there was that much scientific research when I was getting my sociology degree on this, but there is like super legit. I've heard from multiple scientists, multiple different places, not just the Heart Math Institute. Psychologists even study this. The heart produces its own energy field, and it's really powerful. So this is part of what we're tapping into in the songwriting process, because if you want to create songs that are going to have the power to do this, the songs in and of themselves need to have truth and authenticity. They need to be songs that other people can sing and they can see themselves in those songs. It also needs to be something that really deeply resonates with you, not just with other people. So this is really important for setting us up for the rest of the conversation about songwriting, because this is what moves people. The song creates this shared experience that is more powerful than any individual could really achieve on their own. So going back to this idea of conscious songwriting, like, we just have to be real. This is not new to anybody, probably. Just the idea that songs, music, art, video, they all have the power to shape how people think and feel about themselves, but also about each other and how we see the world, how we see reality. Do we experience this life as a beautiful, rich journey, or do we experience it as some kind of prison that we're trapped in? You know, art has the ability, and all kinds of media have the ability to shape how people think and feel. You are essentially, as a songwriter, or an artist of any kind, you have the power to program that perspective into people. And this has definitely been used for nefarious purposes in the mainstream. 1000%. There's a reason why the CIA is deeply embedded in Hollywood. Like, even a lot of really popular musical artists that have come out, they've been backed by particular nefarious actors. And that's a fact. That is not even, we're not going to get into it here, but that is a fact. And this is one of the reasons why there's so much corruption in the music industry too. We're not going to go further into that. But, that doesn't have to be your story. That doesn't have to be your journey. And there are ways to just recognize the power of song and to do it in a more conscious way, not only for yourself, but for your audience and for the people that you're performing for, your fans, all that kind of stuff. So just realize when you're on the microphone, or when you're even just recording a song, whatever, you're in a position of influence and power, and it can easily be abused as much as it can easily be of benefit to the world around you. So I used to have a very staunch opinion about this, and I used to say, like, well, because of this, you should really, like, not say certain things on the microphone. At this point in my life, though, I'm realizing that, there are certain things you need to talk about in your songs, especially if it's a part of your healing process, or especially if it's a true part of your own journey. Like, if your journey really has involved violence and oppression, and these are the things that are real for you because you've been through it. You've been through so much darkness. Put it in your song if you need to. But hopefully, one of the things that you're going to learn as we go through this is maybe a way to do it in a slightly healthier way that isn't just passing on your oppression, passing on your pain to somebody else. Like, it's okay to talk about your experience if it's really true and authentic for you. But, one example would be like some gangster rapper who never grew up in the hood, like grew up in the suburbs, like to a rich family, like never had to go through life on the streets, and all of these themes that are a part of like hip hop, and that a lot of people have real experiences with, and they can really truly speak to those experiences. But if you're not coming from that experience and you're incorporating that in just to be cliche and just to like fit in with the crowd, I'm sorry, but like that's not one, it's not authentic for you. And because it's not authentic, it's not going to resonate. Like just trust me on this one. Speak to your own experiences. Don't try to be someone you aren't. And don't get caught up in thinking that you have to be anything other than what you've experienced. But if you have really experienced some truly dark stuff, like I have too, I've gone through some really dark stuff and I put it in my songs, and I don't sing those songs anymore. They served a purpose at a specific time in my life, but I don't even resonate with that music anymore because I've moved through it. But speaking truthfully to those experiences is part of what helped me move through it. So conscious songwriting, it's really about finding that balance between like our true authentic experience and what we really need to express to move that energy, to move that stuckness, to heal from the different ways that we have been wounded. That is all good. But if it's not true for you and you're just trying to be some kind of social icon and just trying to fit in and, creating music about violence and like crime and all this stuff that isn't really a part of your story, like just stop. Just stop doing that, right? It's not going to help you on your journey as much as being authentic will. So with that being said, especially talking, the phrase conscious songwriting is almost overused these days. And it's a really key buzzword in like spiritual communities. So people think like conscious songwriting has to be like all priestly, and like, there's all these spiritual cliches. Like talking about I'm trying to think of things off the top of my head right now, but like using all of these buzzwords in the spiritual community, buzzwords like the Eye of Ra or ascending to the highest, or like illuminating my inner divine goddess. Like conscious songwriting is not about using spiritual cliches. In fact, I would argue that if you're incorporating spiritual cliches, like there's just so many of them at this point that I've heard repeated by so many people, like they've just lost their meaning. And like just find a different way to say it. Find a different way to say something. If you've heard something a million times. So conscious songwriting is not about using spiritual cliches. I want to drive that home. I don't want to harp on this too much, but I want to drive it home. It's not about using spiritual cliches. It's not about using spiritual language. It's not about using cultural relics. It's not about using spiritual instruments like native flutes and handpans. It's not about any of that stuff. Conscious songwriting is about expressing yourself authentically. It is about speaking truth to yourself. It's about understanding how your message is influencing others to think, act, and feel, but more than anything, it's about speaking truth to yourself, speaking truth to your experience, speaking truth to your pain, giving yourself the words that you need to hear to heal from whatever it is that you've been through, or giving other people the words that they need to hear to heal from an experience that you've already gone through and that you've been healing from. You know, this is what conscious songwriting is really about. It's not about, like, I've already said it 1,000 times, spiritual cliches and all of that stuff. I can't even say more about that right now. So just to drive this home one more time, like, if you want to make art that resonates with other people, you need to make art that resonates on a deep level with yourself first and foremost. And if you can make your own potent medicine that moves you so deeply that it helps you transcend whatever problem that you've been going through, whatever stuck emotion, whatever perspective has been creating suffering for you, whatever trauma you've been through, if you can speak truth to those experiences so clearly and directly that it literally helps you to heal and makes a powerful, powerful shift of energy in yourself, that is the potent medicine that you've created for yourself that will then ripple out and have an effect on others. It starts with you. It starts with finding what resonates on a deep level with you. And this is part of why embodiment and really learning to feel how this stuff is hitting you in your body as you're going through the creative process and you're writing out words and you're figuring out all these different components of your song. This is why it's so important to have bodily awareness of how this thing that you're creating is hitting you personally. And you want to write that music so powerfully that when it hits you, like, you can't even help yourself. Like, when I'm writing songs, this is just my own experience. I'm not saying this has to be your experience. I look for the stuff that hits me so hard, I can't even sing the song without crying. I can't even make it through the song without crying. And oftentimes I'll just be crying through the whole songwriting process because I'll just be speaking truth to myself in that song or to my pain. You know, that is the potent medicine. If you can make potent medicine that can really heal your own pain and your own wounds, that is the medicine that will carry and ripple out from you and move others. I promise you. So this is why authenticity is key, because without authenticity, it loses its power. This is why you really, really, really need to be authentic. And I know everybody thinks that they're being authentic, or maybe not everybody, but I've talked to a lot of artists. Everybody assumes that they're being authentic on some level, but if you're really, really, really being authentic in your songwriting, like, expect to have an emotional release of some kind or an emotional shift, like a powerful emotional shift. And we're going to get into this a lot more later about specific ways to go about this. But this goes back to the whole social responsibility thing. Like, why are we even writing songs in the first place? And I guarantee you, if you take on this perspective, your songs will hit home so much harder and they will resonate so much more with your audience. Authenticity is the key. Authenticity is the key. Authenticity is one of the most powerful frequencies because it's pure alignment. It's like a strong column of granite, as opposed to like this off kilter, half true, half baked experience being communicated. Authenticity, inauthenticity, weak and crumbly. So I hope that makes sense to you. Maybe you already have experienced this on some level, and maybe it's just a good, healthy reminder. But if this is new to you, I mean, I went through a good 10, 15 years of writing songs before I really actually got this on a deep level. And it shifted everything for me. Like, not just in my songwriting, but like all of my creative work too. Because two frequencies that match create a resonant field. And that's a stronger frequency, a stronger vibration than any one frequency could have on its own. And that is the essence of being in relationship in life and being a creative person in general. Creating art that resonates. So I hope you found this inspiring. I'm loving this so far. Thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to catching you in the next video. Peace.